Hey guys, my name is Grant Atwood, and today I'd like to talk to you guys about my 10-year plan for myself. So, in the first 18 years of my life, education has been a very important part of it, and I want the next 10 years to also have a lot of education because I believe that lifelong learning is important, and also the careers that I want require a lot of learning. So for college, I'd like to go to the Naval Academy. And this is a rather hard school to get into, but I believe that realistically I can get in if I keep my grades up and that kind of stuff. So life at the Naval Academy for those 4 years would be rather difficult. I wouldn't have a lot of time to like hang out with my friends, or there's no like fraternities or anything like that. So it'd be a rather unique college experience. But after visiting there and talking to some people, I think it is what's best for me. So life in the Navy, I'm obviously going to be on the move a lot. So living conditions just kind of depend on where I am stationed and that kind of thing. So I wouldn't be living in a house or anything like that. In the Navy, I'd hope to get my JD, which is the degree you need to be a lawyer, and then I would start as a prosecutor in the Navy, and then hopefully when I get out, become a prosecutor or a FBI attorney, because I think those two jobs are really cool. And I'm not one to sit. I can never like sit at a desk and crunch numbers all day. So I believe that as a lawyer or a FBI attorney, I would always be on the move, and this would keep me busy and interested. So as either a corporate attorney or a lawyer, you need to be close to the action. So I want to live in Washington, D.C. The cost of living in DC is crazy expensive. So I probably wouldn't live in a house. I'd probably live in either a condo or an apartment, just something so that I could get up and move without having to worry about like mowing my lawn or keeping upkeep on my house. But also in DC, I'm not too worried about spending my money on things like a fancy house or fast cars or anything like that. I've always been smart with my money, and I think that in the next 10 years, I will continue to be smart with my money with things like investments and putting my money in like a savings account and not just blowing it all. However, when I do spend my money, I like to spend it on things like experiences. I am a big fan of sporting events, specifically golf and college football. So, whenever I do spend my money, I'd want it to be on things that I could remember. So, this is a picture of Phil Mickelson whenever I went to the PGA Championships a few weekends ago. So I want to spend it on things like going to more golf tournaments or going to like the college football national championship. Another thing I like to spend my money on is travel. Um, I like to get out of St. Louis as much as I can just because I like to see the world. And as a lawyer or FBI attorney, I will have enough money, hopefully, to see the world, and also my job will probably take me to places outside of Washington, D.C. So I'd like to visit places that have a beach or some historical significance, like places in Europe. A important part of my life now is my family. This is a picture of us. And I'd like to continue to have them be an important part of my life in the next 10 years. They've always supported me through anything, and I think they're a very good support system to have around whenever I'm living on my own in a place that's a few hundred miles away from them. Another thing that's important to me is my dog. That's my dog Callie. She's a 9-year-old golden retriever. Uh, Obviously, in 10 years, she probably won't be around just because no dog lives to be like 20 years old. But I'd like to have a dog of my own, probably a golden retriever. However, if I'm living in an apartment or a condo and I'm always on the move, this might not be the most feasible option. I'd also like to keep around my friends. They've been uh, really good to me in high school, and obviously we're all not going to the same college. And whenever we graduate, we'll be in different places. However, I'd like to keep in touch with them and catch up every once in a while. So that was my 10-year plan. There's a lot of moving parts and a lot of things that depend on one another. However, I believe that everything I want to do is feasible and should be lead to a rather interesting and active life.